and they are in their minds aware, but they're actually in a state of hypnosis while they're awake because they have been drawn into that state of mind or mood where somehow magically that analytical factor is being bypassed. And we can't always nail it down.
Then let me ask you
Right?
this. Let me ask you this, Mike. Is it possible for a person to go into an altered state of hypnosis, and you say this can happen without them knowing it, see something, and then have what they're seeing actually trigger a non-event based on what they have previously seen that's previously been embedded in their mind, and because they're in a state of hypnosis, bypassing the what was it you called it? The analytical point.
Factor.
Start putting a story together that isn't real, and yet to them it's totally real.
Stories. There is way more to it. It's interesting that you bring this up. There's way more to it. About 15 years ago, there was a lot of talk about whether or not hypnotically enhanced testimonies should be able to be done in court, etc. And some states accepted it, some didn't.
I remember that debate very well.
Okay. Now, they ran a very, very interesting study. They showed people a film. And, for instance, one part of the film was a car, I'll say a blue car, comes up to a traffic sign and waits and then turns to the right. Well, after they interviewed people and would say, when the red car passed the blue car at the yield sign, did you notice any people? Then a week or two later, they would ask people to go on and write down. And many of the people incorporated the red car and the yield sign when it was no red car and a stop sign. So people can have their memory and perceptions of things changed in the effective conscious state as well as a waking hypnosis state.
So if they were to, if this was to happen, and this is now their altered reality, so to speak, would they pass a lie detector test?
If they truly believe something, they will usually pass a lie detector because that's really a stress test. Now, when people see things, it has been proven that if people shift and adjust the story over time, if they get to the end, let's say 5 years later after their dramatic story has been embellished over the 5-year period, they could take a lie detector test and what they have shifted it to is 100% true and believable to them. So our perceptions and our shifting perceptions in the non-hypnotic realm, are just as powerful as the hypnotic or the induced hypnotic state. We shift and change based on the stories we tell ourselves because we believe the stories we tell ourselves, which in a way is why people come to me because they've told themselves the story of, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, my mother didn't love me, I'll always be a failure, etc. They've been taught to tell themselves those stories.
So basically,
they believe the stories they've been told.
So basically, you deprogram them.
Yeah, try to get them to understand the truth of themselves, that they have the power, that they've always had the power. And if they've given up their power, they had to use their power to give up their power.
So is it mind control versus mind control? Are you using a different type of mind control to get the person to realize that they are able to do what they think they're not able to do?
Effectively, yes. Remember that everybody has a mind, and that mind should be controlled. So either you're going to control your mind, or you're going to be allowing other people to control your mind. So what we're trying to do is make people aware of how your mind works, how it gets shifted, so that you can be more in control, all right, and not fall victim to, say, the advertisers or the politicians or the media that are hyping you up and telling you it's so good to bomb everybody and whatever they do, all right, or spend all your money, save all your money.
Sure.
They use authority figures to tell you something that because it's an authority figure, you automatically buy into it. And when you read newspapers, they will use kind of nebulous. Experts tell us. Oh, right away, an expert told me. They didn't tell you which expert it was. All right, it could have been an expert, in golf, and he's talking to you about munitions. But experts say, and right away they shift how you think and make you open to hearing things. And to jump back to being a little kid, when your mother says, you'll never be successful unless you blah, 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 you may only absorb you'll never be successful. So that's why, to go back to the 5-year-old, the things we tell our children can go in and make a very, very large impact on them later in life.
So are the television programs that we're letting our children see? Right? They're influencing them terrifically. I have a sheet that I've given out like hundreds, thousands of these things about taking control and changing your life. And one of the things it says is shut off the television. Now, one of the worst things you can watch is the news, because it's filled with violence and it fills you with fear, and it shifts your emotional state and allows you to accept things that you might not normally understand. I'll give you an illustration. If you are sitting around with your family, everything's going well, do you feel kind of full or do you feel empty? I feel full.
Good. Now, if things aren't going right, things are falling apart, there's a lot of nastiness or misery, does it make you feel full or empty?
Empty.
Okay, now we're going to cut to treat yourself to a new car. Hey, come on down to Bill's restaurant and have a good meal. All right? You get put into a mood, and then they immediately shift to a suggestion they want you to accept.
I won't accept it.
It doesn't, because remember, because remember, our conscious minds are always in control. And the advertisers know exactly what to do, so you are never aware you're being manipulated.
All right, Michael, stand by. We've got to take our news break. Stand by, Mike. Michael J. Stone is our guest. South Florida Hypnosis. www.southflorida. Hi, this is Rob McConnell, just letting you know that the X Chronicles newspaper is now available online at www.xzonebookclub.com. All past editions and current editions of the X Chronicles newspaper are available for 99 cents. That's www.xzonebookclub.com, and that's 99 cents U.S. per edition. And don't forget, the X Zone store is now open as well for all of your X Zone Nation merchandise. www.thexzonestore.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled LITE.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Waxing free woman.
Welcome back, everyone. Michael J. Stone is our special guest. He is with the South Florida Hypnosis Center, www.southfloridahypnosis.com. Why I was asking you the questions about if someone puts themselves into a state of hypnosis unknowingly, and then they see something Now, since they're in a state of hypnosis, what they see, they may, it doesn't, let's say they see, headlights. Would they interpret those headlights as something else, and would they play a scenario in their mind? And where I'm getting at is the UFO phenomenon, the alien abduction phenomena, the sightings of ghosts. Because when it comes to evidence, there's next to none. And yet so many people are swearing that they've had these experiences.
Well, life, you're making me shift a little, like I was really doing a session here, kind of into metaphysics. All right? Our lives are basically only experiential, based on what we see and what we feel. Now, and that's real to us. Mm-hmm. It has been proven fairly well in I think a fair number of studies that people see stuff that's not there, because that's the way your mind works. They don't see things that are there because it gets skipped over. Many people may have seen the famous gorilla on the basketball court movie, but they're not seeing something that is there. You are trying to make sense of what you see, which is why people can see faces in clouds or bunny rabbits or whatever they see. That's the way we are constructed. Now, there's a level of discipline that all people should have that says, I'm looking at something that is just a thing, an object, I'm feeling this feeling, I should analyze it. Many people don't, all right? I've seen things in the sky, quiet, silent lights at a low level going by at a uniform rate of speed. So do you know what I saw? I saw a light, no noise go by me. I have no idea what it was. It doesn't mean it was a UFO or a flying saucer. It doesn't mean only a light going by with no sound. I have no idea what it was. But some people want to make something of it, all right? So when each one, a ghost which is tied into a belief system about life after death, and people will have experiences, psychics that just can tell you things. You know what I mean? I've lived with psychics. I've met some super psychics. They certainly weren't phonies because of the stuff they told me. All right. There is, I'm trying to think, right after the fellow, remember the famous double slit experiment in the 1910s where they found out that they didn't know whether light was a wave or a particle, and they came up with the theory about when you measure it, it's a particle, and when you don't measure it, it's a wave. All right? Well, they couldn't explain it. And another one of the physicists, after they realized that it didn't make sense, but it was true, and it was mathematically provable, even though it didn't make sense, said, I know what the situation is. We're involved in a mystery, but we're inside the mystery, and that's why we can't solve it. So when you look at the people who are seeing flying saucers, they're seeing something. That's their experience. Now, can we pull it apart and say, geez, it's explainable, it's unexplainable, and then when we have enough unexplainable, start to do a theory, or do we just jump to things and create a belief system based on what we jump to? Same with ghosts, same with anything that we deal which is outside of our normal workaday life. And everybody experiences these things. So it's more to pull it out of the hypnosis range and into, hey, drag this into your consciousness and see, are you giving this the fair shake? Are you being analytical? Are you being objective before you tell me you had an abduction experience?
Gotcha.
All right? I mean, I have never had to hypnotize anybody for an abduction, but I've had sincere people that come and believe they have been abducted. And I work in different ways to get them to calm down and accept it. But they honestly believe they've had an experience. They've had like rashes or something on their arm or whatever. Now, can it be? Is it possible? We have to play the same game with that we just spoke about. Can we prove it? No, because we don't have evidence other than the person's experience. And I can't belittle it at all because I've been in love. You've been in love. I hope your kids are all in love. But that's tough